Or not.
Let's not do
so
that
good
again.
at muting now. We don't unmute.
Can you hear me now? Can you hear me now?
I can.
There we go.
Does that help?
That's why I'm looking down at the thing instead of looking at you, and I forgot there's a delay. Good morning.
Good morning.
Welcome to
Cut up and sew. What's up?
You raised up at the end this time. That was good.
I thought I'd try different.
I like it. A different emphasis on a different syllable.
You know, just make it a little different.
Yeah, that's right. Good morning, everybody. I can't see. I'm used to looking at the computer now. It's weird. So I got to look and see. Who are we saying good morning to? Do we have friends on? Oh, yeah, we do.
Lots.
I got people on YouTube.
What up, YouTubers? Wow. Instagrammers? Facebookers?
Yeah, all these people. This is cool.
Wonderful. Well, welcome to So What's Up, our Monday morning weekly show.
Yeah.
What episode are we on? 105.
105.
Hot dog.
Makes me feel really old.
Nah. Time's just flown by, though, hadn't it?
Yeah, because that's like 365.
Math them out.
6. That's like 3 years.
How about 52 weeks in a year?
I don't think
well, maybe 2 years.
Yeah, I think we've been doing it. Has it been 2 years? Wow,
Over
that's
2 years.
awesome.
It's been over.
So if it's the first time joining us, this is Joanne. We never,
this is Josh.
we never even introduce ourselves. We just assume everybody knows what's happening.
That's true. That's true.
We assume they know. So what's up?
And every now and then I'd be driving around thinking we should start out by saying, "This is Josh, this is Joanne, and this is what we're here for."
Well, here we are. Look at us.
Here we are.
We did it.
We finally got it together.
And that's Tony behind the scenes.
Our producer.
You'll hear a random laughing every once in a while.
Keeping us on track.
Yeah, that's exactly right. Morning, Brenda, Linda, Denise. All right, everybody's here. That's awesome. So we always do Mondays where we do some tips and tricks and talk about things happening at both of the Cut Up and Sew locations. We're going to do that again. Nothing's going to be changed.
That's right.
Let me get my sticky note. Okay.
Nothing's changed.
First,
That's
nothing's
right.
changed.
Nothing has changed. There is a sticky note.
Yeah.
We're always grateful.
Method to the madness. Dress-a-Girl, huge success.
Good.
So this past Saturday was our 3rd year of doing Dress-a-Girl, and I think the count was 25 dresses.
Wow.
Like, that's incredible. And Tony, you got the photos, right? So hopefully we'll post that. I mean, the whole design wall was filled.
Mhm.
They were so cute, but it was just so cool. It's always so rewarding. You know what I mean?
It's such a good cause.
Yeah. So thank you to everybody that came out. I know Dana did send home kits with a few people. So those of you that like to sew at home, you can still drop off your dresses year round, really.
Mhm.
We will make sure that they go to Dana, and then Dana will get them in the hands of the right people.
Okay.
And you can drop those off at both locations, by the way. Even though this charity sewing was in Palm Coast, you can drop them off in St. Augustine. We know how to get a hold of Dana.
That's right.
Next month, we have Ryan's Case for Smiles. What's the date of that? Do you know off the top of your head?
22nd? No, that was this month.
It's on the calendar, cutupandsew.com. If you want to join us for one of our Sewing for Charity parties, that's the easiest way to find it. And we do ask that you register, because it does just kind of give us an idea of how many people are going to be there, how much room we have or need, that sort of thing.
20th.
And the 20th?
19th.
Oh, the 19th. Okay, perfect. So the 19th,
The day before Easter.
April 19th, right? 19th, right.
Mhm.
In St. Augustine, we're going to be doing the Sewing for Charity party, Ryan's Case for Smiles. And again, you can drop pillowcases off at either location, and we'll make sure that they go to the right people.
Mhm.
So thank you guys. It was a huge success, as always, to be honest with you. It never surprises me anymore, but it still just makes me smile just as much. It's
I was
awesome.
just thinking about that this morning and thinking, we get to a point where we've given quilts to everybody we know, all of their friends and their friends' children. And, we've made quilts for everyone. And we get to that point where we still like to sew and quilt, but we don't have anybody else to give quilts to. So it's great to have these opportunities to make somebody else's life a little bit better.
Absolutely. And the quilts and the pillowcases and the dresses go to the right people. So that's what's really nice. We have such a good connection with Dana or Sherry or whoever, that it always makes us feel a little bit more confident, and where the product's
stuff is
going.
going. Yes.
Exactly.
Mhm.
So,
Excellent.
And it's the 26th.
correction, it's the 26th of April. April 26th in St. Augustine, not the 19th. The 26th will be Ryan's Case for Smiles in St. Augustine. Awesome. Right out of the gate, I see a question. Do you carry garment fabrics? I mean, yes, because you can make garments out of cotton. And we do have some linen blends. And we know that Joanne's closing is going to mess up your world, a few of you. So we hear you. Tony and I actually sat down. Apparently, we might have to re-record because the audio wasn't as professional as we like to,
Sound.
We've set our standards so high.
Yes.
But truthfully, the conversation was simple. It's like, what do I think? What do you think about Joanne's closing? And we won't get too much into it right now. But one of the big things was Cut Up and Sew is all I can speak on. Can't carry everything that Joanne carried. I don't want to carry a lot of the stuff they carried because there is a quality difference.
That's right.
I'm not knocking Joanne's, but it's a difference.
Mhm.
You get what you pay for. But the garment conversation, I tried to do garments like almost day one when we bought the
Right, I
shop.
remember.
We had tons of knits and they just sat there. So the easy answer is we're working on it,
Thinking about it.
thinking about it. I want we have garment sewers. We know that. And so it's more of we're being a little bit strategic, and I'm being cautious just as a business owner because I just don't want to buy stuff and have it sit there. So I'm all ears. If there's a certain type of fabric that the majority of people want, whether it's linen, I keep hearing linen, by the way.
Linen is nice.
Rayon, right. So technically, we're not really known as a garment shop. But again, some of the cottons we have, the art gallery, the Ruby Star, that stuff has a fantastic drape to it, and you can absolutely make outfits or garments out of it. So we're working on it, but again, we're just being a little careful. So if you guys have suggestions, recommendations of the type of fabric maybe that you're looking for, that whether it's Joann's had and that was your go-to shop, or that you're new to town, please send them our way. info@cutupandsew.com. Comment on here. Stop in the stores.
Whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah. Joann's closing is a little difficult. It's not that you want to buy all your quilting fabric there, but when you need Joann's, you need Joann's. And it's, like you said, you can't carry everything. And there's just stuff there that I need.
Yeah. Well, no, it's true. I mean, I think part of the problem with Joann's is that it was too big. They carried so much, and honestly, they just didn't make enough money. So they went bankrupt. And you have a 60% off sale, like once every whatever, people wait to buy. And so then your stuff's just sitting there, and then it gets old, and then it's and anyway, so we could go on and on about that. We could have an hour show just on that. But it is bittersweet because, again, the last thing I'll say is that Joann's was still good for the industry. So I'm not super happy about it. Everybody thought, ooh, Joann's is going out. As a shop owner, you must be so excited. I'm like, well, not really.
Yeah.
It's not great for the industry. So we need people to talk about the local quilt shops. You know what I mean? We have sale racks. So if that's the only reason you went to Joann's, we've got sale fabric.
Yeah.
Every good quilt shop has sale fabric. Hello.
And I will tell you that ours is the best, honestly.
She ain't lying. I'm biased, but yeah, fair enough. All right. So, okay. Back to the sticky note. See, thank you to Dress a Girl. Looking forward to everybody for Ryan's case. And I see Denise. I can't believe that was the first time you had been there, but that's fantastic. And it was an amazing turnout. So thank you.
Dana was on the thanks to everyone.
Oh, awesome. Well, thank you, Dana. Sincerely, you're the brains behind the whole thing. So those linen cotton blends are super nice. Yeah, exactly. So linen cotton blend is something we definitely are starting to get in. So good point. I don't see anything. Did we miss anything else? No. Okay. Back to the sticky note. Sewing studios. Do you know what that is?
I do.
What's a sewing studio?
That's Monday.
It is. And so sewing studio is a time for you just to come and hang out with other sewers and work on projects. I mean, that's the easiest thing. And it's all about making friends. But the staff is here to offer help. Now, most of the time, I'll be honest with you, I think you're ringing. Most of the time, I think that the questions get answered amongst the group. You know what I mean? So, but we are here. That was the design of it, was to come in, work on projects, unfinished projects, and let us just kind of help you. Also, we have a big space, especially in Palm Coast, where you can lay stuff out. Now, it's packed. So that's where I was going to go with this. Is Palm Coast is full. It sells out every single week. Awesome. So make sure you're registering for the sewing studio. St. Augustine, we don't have that problem yet. And I've asked this, I'm throwing out the question a bazillion times already, but I don't think we've gotten much response. So does Monday just not work? Maybe that's the wrong day for a sewing studio there. Maybe it's still too early. I don't know. So we're all ears. We want to have the sewing studio in St. Augustine, but we want you guys to show up.
Yeah. I love how, I'll be walking through the classroom when they have one of those going on. And I love how they help each other, and they have formed a great community of women, and they're just working together. It's kind of what quilting is all about and has been all about for eternity.
Absolutely. I love it. And I just want that to grow in St. Augustine. So help us out. Help us help you.
Yeah. Help grow that St. Augustine community. That would be awesome.
Because I know you're there. For sure.
We know.
Yeah. Okay. And then we have something new that kind of popped up on the calendar, which is a really cool concept, similar to the sit and sew or the sewing studio, a sit and surge. So this is with Carrie, and that's this Saturday, right? Yeah, the 29th. A lot of people have sergers. A lot of people don't know what to do with sergers. A lot of people have questions on how to convert it to a cover stitch, or if it's not a combination machine, when do I use the rolled hem? Or, you know, maybe you're just working on something and you're just like, or maybe you just want to go and sew and you happen to be working on a serger project. Come and hang out with Carrie and the rest of the sewers this Saturday. I mean, that's what it's designed for, right? That was the whole concept. So
that's really nice that that there's somebody there who knows how to use it, because sergers are new to a lot of people.
They are, and they scare a lot of people.
Mhm.
They do not scare Carrie. She
Right.
loves
She's fearless.
sergers.
She's
Yeah.
a fearless
Well,
serger.
she uses sergers for so much. And so it's such a perfect person to have kind of there. And the nice thing is similar to when you do like a quilt open sew or whatever we call it. I can't remember. But it's nice that she's actually there, dedicated to. So it's not like if the staff is busy and you have a question, I mean, she's right there. Like that's the whole purpose. So
Right.
That's this Saturday in Palm Coast, the 29th. Sit and serve with Carrie.
Now, what happens if you are somebody who's interested in a serger and you're just trying to kind of figure it out? Is that
like whether they want a serger, you mean?
Mhm.
Well, sure, why not?
April 5th.
Now, I was going to say, I'll get into that. And we're going to talk more about our Sip and Surge tea party on April the 5th.
Yeah, the one I miss.
But honestly, yeah, sure. Why not? I mean, it's an open sew. So the idea is usually you bring your own machine. If you're like, I'm on the cusp, well, I tell you right now, Carrie's going to talk you into a serger. So if you don't want to be talked into a serger, maybe don't go.
Yeah, I make a point of not talking to Carrie.
You will buy a serger. But honestly, if you're like, I'm not sure which serger to get, then what a perfect opportunity. I'll let you sit down and use one. We've got sergers here. I'll let you borrow one. So you're test driving it. Duh, of course I'll let you play with a serger that I know you're going to buy. But truthfully, it's a good question. If somebody has that question or if they have something similar, just call and ask. It's probably the right place for you. I mean, it's a relaxed atmosphere. That's the whole thing. It's not a class. There's no stress. It's just about community and growing.
Yeah, you can see what other people are doing with their serger.
Absolutely.
Like awesome.
Kim, yeah, thanks for joining. The Dress a Girl was amazing. And I see everybody jumping on. I used to say hello to every one of you, but honestly, we've grown so much that I just don't want to take the time and I don't want to leave anybody out. So good morning to everybody jumping on. It's easier that way too.
Glad you're here.
Yeah, glad you're here. Absolutely. Okay, next on my list says new fabric.
There it is.
So this is for St. Augustine. Now I know I'm technically in Palm Coast, but we are taking this to St. Augustine. So I don't know how to describe this line, so we're just going to show it to you. It's fun. It's funky. It's a little weird. I don't know. What words would you use to describe this line? This is a new Free Spirit line, and it's a new designer to me. So forgive me, Monica Forsberg, if you've been around for a long time, and I just am now finding out about you. But, well, here, I'll show this first. We got a couple of the new Cafe. So Cafe is a topic of discussion where people are like, I still love Cafe or I'm tired of Cafe. Well, I don't know where I'm at, but when I saw some of these, I was like, I can't not get them because
these new? Are these new designs?
Yeah, these are some of the new. So I figured, you know what, let me just get some fat quarter bundles for the new Cafe. And I really love, purple. So me and Tony are obviously going to be fans, but again, some new colorways from Cafe. Well, I should say not just Cafe, it's the collective. And so we just have a handful of these. Yeah, I know there is some really cool ones.
Yeah.
And again, a lot of people say, well, Cafe uses the same pattern, different colorway. Some people say, well, use the same colorway with a new pattern. I mean,
And this looks kind of different though.
it does. And to be fair, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. You know, people still love Cafe and the Cafe collective. I shouldn't just say Cafe, but I don't know. I just love that little bundle. So we got it. And these are going to St. Augustine, by the way. Now, you can get them on the website, of course, but they are going to be in St. Augustine if you want to touch them, feel them.
Are these kind of like ocean?
That's what I said. I'd call it oceany.
So the name of this line is called Rising Tide.
So is all this part of the same line? All of these?
All of these I'm about to show you. Wow. And what I was talking to Tony about, and I don't know if you noticed a little octopus on the last one.
Yeah, I did.
Oh, did you? So they're not, I mean, it's cohesive because of the theme, but the colorways, and because it's so busy, you're not going to put all these together. I don't think that could be a little bit too.
It could happen.
It could, but
not easily.
Man, you throw in one of the 220 solids that we just got in. You heard me. 220 solids. What a cool way to really make these prints stand out, because they are really fun and it is cool. And I think I liked it because we've all seen ocean. We live in Florida. We've all seen ocean or sea themed fabric, but this is very different. This is the same reason that I love like Rachel Hauer. Like, she'll do the animals, but she'll do animals either in a different way. The art's really stylized, or she'll pick animals that people don't do, like the mole.
Yeah.
How many people do you see doing mole fabric, you know?
Yeah. We don't like them in our backyard.
Horseshoe crabs, that's another one. So these are cool. Obviously, people have done coral and seashells, but these are very, well, I'll use the word stylized again, because I just think they're cool.
Yeah, there's a couple there. If you're thinking of doing the Laura Heine, any of the sea collages,
That'd be
there's
fun.
a couple that will really work nicely in there.
And a few of it kind of reminds me of that Charlie Harper.
Mm-hmm.
You know, that's sort of, again, the word stylized keeps popping in my head, but I think that describes it pretty well.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, fun line. And it will be in St. Augustine very, very soon, but you can get it on the website, cutupandsew.com. Anything in our stores you can get online, just FYI. So for those of you that aren't here local, if you see something, feel free to call us and we can ring it up over the phone, or just go to the website and grab you one or two or three or four,
as many as you want.
Before we get into your tips and tricks or portion, I don't know if you're giving us tips and tricks today or not, but we've started something. I guess this is the third week, right? Third week. The notion of the week. Have we done it all month? Okay. Look who's paying attention.
Yeah. Glad somebody is.
But I love this because you get to meet the staff. So Tony's been putting a picture of the staff and their pick. And I want you guys to know the people that make Cut Up and Sew awesome. And so the staff pick, the notion of the week, has been going really well. And what we do is we make it for the entire week 20% off. And this is at both locations. And online. That's right. We were able to change that. So, hey, sorry, we're not open quite yet till 10. That's all right. See, people are already coming in. They wanted the fabric. Actually, she was going upstairs to work out. You can do yoga in here if you want, I guess.
There's plenty of room.
Hold on. Squirrel. What was I talking about? Oh, 20. It's now online.
Online.
She did the. Oh. It's now online. So Gretchen's pick of the week is Quilter Select. Now, we're not going to say it's just this ruler. So we're going to say Quilter Select rulers. You love Quilter Select.
I do.
Yeah. I do too. And in fact, I think a lot of people do. Now, we love creative grids as well, and we have a lot of creative grids here in Palm Coast, but Quilter Select has been, I think, the brand for the St. Augustine store. So we are going to keep that going for sure. In fact, I'm going to ask a question, and I want some feedback. And if you watch this after the fact and it's not live, do hashtag replay for me. That way, it'll bump it back up to the top. It'll let us kind of know who's watching after the fact. If we were to have a Quilter Select trunk show done like by the best, and by the way, some really fun and amazing people, 5 Little Monkeys. I'll just say that. They travel, I shouldn't say she, because it's a duo. It's a team. But they travel around, and we saw them in Lakeland. And I said, I think a Quilter Select trunk show would be fantastic. And that would basically be the introduction into the whole Quilter Select line, because it's not just rulers. There's rotary cut. There's stuff, tons of stuff.
There's mats and rotary cutters and computer programs, and I mean the list goes on.
And the quality is insane. It's fantastic. So if you're not familiar with Quilter Select, I encourage you to check it out. And even if you're just looking for a new ruler, what an opportunity! 20% off. But then let me know what month would probably be the easiest, would be the best time for us to have a Quilter Select trunk show.
Okay, so this is one of my favorite rulers, and let me show you a couple of things that I really like about it. One of them is the lines are very fine, so that they're not so wide that they're covering up the edge of your fabric. You can see the edge of your fabric really well. The other thing is that it really grips onto your fabric, so when you go to cut with it, your ruler isn't moving around on you. It stays nice and stable. The really cool thing is that it's very hard to find these. Not many stores will sell them. And we do, which I think is awesome.
And we're going to sell more of them and more of the
Mhm.
product. Brenda even said it. Their rotary cutters are insane. They're the best. They're,
Yeah.
they're awesome.
They're-
It's heavy. You can tell the quality. Also, they last a really long time.
They do.
They were talking about that at the quilt show. It's not one of those rules that you're just going to be rubbing it off and you're going to have to replace it anytime soon. So Quilters Select Rulers right now, 20% off for this week and at both locations. And by the way, if there's a certain ruler that you want that we don't have in stock because we are low, we'll order it for you and still give you that discount. So go on to the interweb and find out what ruler you want and then give us a call. Fantastic choice, Gretchen. Yes.
Pat on YouTube wants to know, will the trunk show be available online?
Oh,
I
goodness.
would absolutely put it online. Why not? As long
That's a
as
good idea.
Angie's up for it,
Mhm.
I don't see her being, I mean, she lives online, so I don't see that being an issue. Fantastic question. We are trying to do so much more virtually and online because we're meeting so many friends that don't live here.
Mhm.
So fantastic. Thanks for asking that. So just think about what days, or not days, months. I think that's the easiest thing. What month would be the best time for a trunk show? It just can't be July
That's right.
because we're not here.
Because we're not here.
Okay, Gretchen's pick, fantastic. Tamara's pick, right? No.
Yes.
Yes. Tamara's pick.
No, yes.
Yes, no, yes, no, maybe. The by Annie stiletto. So tell me about stilettos.
Stiletto, this is so important.
I know what it is, but
It is such a great tool, and I think it's underused. Now, let's say you are sewing along. Let's say you're kind of new at sewing, and what you're finding is as you sew along, you get to the end and it veers off, and it's like consistent. Every time you come to the end, you've got this veering off, and it's the end of your seam is never as straight as the rest of it. What you do is you hold your stiletto and you hold your fabric in place all the way down. It helps you to concentrate on that seam, and it straightens out that seam immediately. I use it a lot. The other thing it will do is if you happen to be sewing along and you have seams that are pointing towards the needle, it's nice to be able to take your stiletto and kind of just press down on that seam. It helps it feed underneath the feed dogs without, kind of puckering up and folding in the opposite direction, which you don't want. So I'll also reach under the fabric to make sure that the seam underneath is going in the correct direction. I use it constantly, and I probably have 12 of them in my sewing room. And it's one of those things that you really need, and a lot of people don't realize how much they need it.
right.
To use it.
And I'm all for being frugal sometimes, but don't use chopsticks. Use an actual
Yeah,
stiletto for real. This is
exactly.
one of those times where look, they're not super expensive. Get the one that works best for you. We sell out of these constantly, so it's obvious that people love to buy Annie. I mean,
Yeah.
It's got the pressing head on the back side too.
and it's got the pressing head on the back, is what Tony's saying.
Yeah.
So anyway, 20% off. Fantastic pick, Tamara.
Mhm.
This entire week, and we love by Annie.
That's right. And
So-
by Annie loves us.
That's right. Great choices. So I love that. And if you haven't actually met the staff when you go in, introduce yourself. They're fantastic.
Yeah, come in and say, well, who is Tamara? Or who is Gretchen? I want to meet her.
Yes, stilettos are better to use than fingernails.
Exactly.
Someone suggested for binding too. Perfect for.
Yes,
great for
they're good
binding
for
also.
binding. Uh-huh.
Cindy Lou,
and-
good choice.
And Josh is right. Don't a lot of people will say, I use a chopstick. Chopstick
Seam
really
ripper.
doesn't work. A seam ripper, it's if you need one really fast and you can't find yours really easily, seam ripper will work, but it's not quite as good as having a good stiletto.
Yep. Chopsticks are for eating Chinese food, or in my house, everything. And stuffing like
Yeah.
bears.
Stuffing bears is
Stuffing bears,
another
it's
good
good.
There's all sorts of substitutes. You really can't. There's not really a good substitute for a good stiletto.
Right. All right. This is where it says Joanne's time.
Oh, I'm on the list.
You made
Make
it.
a list.
You made the
Made
cut.
the list.
So yeah, I'll get the camera ready for you
Okay.
here.
Well, today I am talking about pressing techniques and good pressing techniques. And one of the things that I wanted to talk about was something that has I think has fallen by the wayside a little bit, but is really kind of cool. So, and one of the things that we want to do when we're pressing is we want our seams as flat as possible. And there's a couple of different ways of achieving that. One is the tailor's clapper. And I don't have anything against the tailor's clapper. It's just that I have never really been able to get the rhythm of it because I've got two tailor's clappers. And what you do is you spritz your fabric with a little bit of
Start?
No.
What are we talking about?
Water. You spritz your fabric with a little bit of water.
What's that called again?
You
Oh,
can't remember
we
it.
needed to survive. What is it? Water. That's right.
You spritz your fabric with a little bit of water. You press your seam, and then you put your tailor's clapper on top of it, and it flattens out your seam and makes it nice and flat. So this is a piece of fabric that I pressed earlier this morning, and you can see where it's still nice and flat, and it just really looks beautiful. The advantage of a flat seam is it's easier to sew when you go to put this together with another piece of fabric. It's easier to sew on a flat seam, and it also looks a lot better. So a good pressing technique starts out with, so I've sewn these two together, and you start out by pressing the outside. And what you do is this is called setting the seams. And apparently in English, they call it bedding the seams, because what happens is, which I always thought was a really cool term, what happens is when you are sewing, your thread is kind of sitting on top of the fabric as opposed to sinking in. When you press it, it makes the thread sink into the fabric. And that's where you want it to be, and that helps your seam to be a little bit flatter. So once you've pressed the outside, you open it up and you press. You can take your finger and press right along the seam, and then just to kind of flatten it out a little bit. And then you press, and you can hold your iron there for about 5 seconds, and then you have your seam pressed. Now the problem with this is that within a matter of a little bit, that seam, once it dries and is cool again, it's still flat, but it starts to unflatten, and it doesn't stay flat the whole time. It just starts to move a little bit. So what the ideal is to get it to stay flat permanently. And the way you can do this is by using a little bit of starch. And so several years ago, there's a woman who came up with a technique that used a starch alternative, and she put it in a little pen, a little, I think they call them acrylic markers.
I use these when I do the ink tints.
That's right.
Colored pencils. You just fill it with water usually.
You fill it with water, but in this case, you're filling it with starch, and you can use Best Press. You can use whatever starch you want, and you can put it in there. You bring it right along the seam so that it goes right between the two fabrics.
On top or behind?
On top.
On top. And then you press it again, and you can hold it there for about 5 seconds until the starch dries, and then you have a really nice flat seam that will stay flat. And and then so here's
smart.
Here, and you can buy these. Obviously, you can buy these little pens at Michael's or Hobby Lobby or whatever. You don't have to.
I got mine on Amazon.
Or Amazon. And if you're looking for something you're thinking, well, how on earth do I get the starch in there? Because this is a small little hole like that. There are little bottles that have a cone tip on it like this that you can also get. It will fill it right up.
Little starch bottles that have it, or you're just saying an empty bottle that you pour the starch into, and then
this is the original. This is the original starch alternative that this woman came up with, and she actually does some beautiful work.
Oh, yeah.
And
you can buy that from us.
I'll say I think we have this.
Do you have this still? Okay, all right.
Like I've seen this before.
Okay, so this is sold here, and it is really nice. And I'm sorry, I thought we'd stop selling it, because I knew at one point.
And if we're out, we can get it again if you want it. So, but no, that's yeah. I thought it was the fabric fuse glue for a second there.
No.
I was like, no, it's cool.
So now if you really like doing small blocks,
Look, Joanne.
like 6-inch or less,
Jeez.
this makes doing small blocks so much easier because the seams lie so perfectly flat. And if you've done small blocks before, you know that when you sew those seams together, they start pointing up,
It's
and they're
all
in the
bunched up,
way,
right?
and they're just kind of messy, and it's hard to work with them. But if you use the starch alternative and put it right on your seams as you're sewing them, everything stays so flat, and it just is so easy to work with. And then when you go to sew it to another block, it stays flat and it's easy to work with. Just a great alternative. So this is another block that I sample that I sewed together earlier today. So this one was using the starch here, and you can see the difference, I hope, where these two
I can
are.
hold it up a little closer.
Oh, I just went bigger on the table.
Did you go bigger? So it's all right. Okay.
So you can see where these kind of puff up a little bit, whereas this is nice and flat. And that's what you're heading towards, is having a nice flat seam.
It really is a difference. I mean,
Yeah.
it's night and day actually.
Yeah.
Wow. Barbara said she does that with every seam she sews, but with an acorn product.
That's this one right here.
Is that what that is?
Mhm.
She says, that's acorn.
Oh.
Like,
Acorn.
That's right. And acorn really is good. And
Easy press solution.
that's right. The easy. And she's the person who developed this. She's written a book on precision piecing, and she and her husband developed this particular starch alternative. And it's very nice, and it works very well. And they have a whole selection. They have this. They have glue for your seams. They have it's just a nice selection of things. But you can substitute regular starch and get a very similar.
There you go. Janice, she said, I want the scratch pen kit. Are you talking about these? Scratch pen kit.
I'm sure that's what you mean, the acrylic pen. You called it acrylic pen?
Acrylic marker,
Acrylic marker.
Oh, okay.
and that's just from wherever, some craft supply store.
Not Joanne's.
Not Joanne's anymore.
There are others.
That's right.
Fantastic. Any questions on that? I think some people said it was a great idea for the troubled seams. Some people agreed with you. Hi, Cassie from New York. Way up there. Yeah, hopefully your mom's doing well. I don't see any other questions. This is great. I mean, those are really small. That's crazy.
And
Oh, I didn't.
She took it off.
And
I mean, I don't know if you saw.
that's like a 4.5. That's not a 6-inch.
Yeah, the back of that. So if you didn't do that, yeah,
These are stupid too.
what a mess.
yeah, it would be harder to
pressed
work
open,
with if you don't have it nice and flat. It's harder. It looks nicer when you just hold up a little star like this. It looks good. But when you go to put this together with other stars, with other sashing, with whatever you're working with, so much easier when everything's lying flat and you're not constantly fighting the seams.
Fantastic.
These were too small for me.
Too small for me.
Yeah, I have a
Me
lot
too.
of complaints about those little
I'm
things.
I've never done this, so I'm gonna have to try this. It might change my mind how I go.
It's super cute. So I mean, I love it. So I mean, hey, look, some people love the tedious and the results fantastic. So don't think it's hard. It's just that you might have to be
You have to work at it.
a little patient, and I imagine the hardest part is just holding it all down as you go.
At this point, I've done so many of these little stars recently.
Yeah.
It's easy.
She don't understand.
Take a class with Joanne. It'll be easy for you too. You too can do tiny, tiny, tiny stars.
I will tell you, this is the size of the star. I think this is the size of the star that was in one of the quilts we did recently, the class did recently. And everybody's turned out great, but I heard so much complaining the entire time. And
Why do you hate us?
I never do anything this small. I hate doing small stuff.
Okay, fantastic. So I see Louise has a quote. What is the quilt top with the black border in the background? Are you talking about this panel here that I forgot to talk about earlier? Yeah, it's just a, you know what, I'll take it down because I don't think they can see it well enough.
Yeah, you're actually kind of far back from the.
I know, we're kind of far away, so.
You didn't talk about this one either.
I was going to do that here in just a sec. So this is just a panel that we just got in, and it's just stunning. It kind of speaks for itself. You could do so many things with this. Tony mentioned one of those quilted jackets. That could be cool. But I mean, yeah, they're just, the color is what sucked me in, and I love a good stained glass look. So just one of the new panels we got, and there was 1 or 2 complementary fabrics with it that will be gone probably in a day or two because half of it sold on Saturday because it was so pretty. So thanks for asking about that, Louise. I forgot to talk about it. The ladies at the retreat, we were all together, showed us a large pint pens to use from Amazon, and they're awesome. Paint.
Yeah, she corrected her.
So are we talking about like these? Yeah. I got a set of like 6 or something from Amazon. It was dirt cheap.
Yeah,
I mean, it's just a little plastic thing with a paintbrush tip on it. They're great.
And the only thing you want to do if you get one is think about how you're going to fill it. Make sure you have something to fill it with.
Some sort of funnel or small tube. Or skip all that and buy that.
Yeah.
Fantastic. Okay, so this behind us is just a sample of the shop hop because it's still shop hop time. Tony made this top, and I think it's awesome. So we still have magazines. We have a good amount of magazines in St. Augustine. Here in Palm Coast, I only found this one. So we may have to snag some from there. But regardless, if you haven't got your magazine yet, because it is the passport, make sure you get one soon. And it just showcases some of the fabric. It's a really cool, what is the name of that? San Julian. It's a cool pattern.
Nice quilt.
It's a Villa Rosa pattern. Yeah. Yeah, I love it. So Shop Hop still on and rocking. Make sure when you come in and see us at either location, you take a picture with the little either frog or bunny so you can win some stuff from the Shop Hop Inc.
Frog or bunny?
Yeah, we have a little stuffed hopper.
That's what it is.
And they have to find it, and then when they find it, they take a picture, and then they scan a QR code to win some stuff, and then they go hide it again.
Oh.
So it's fun.
Can they hide it in a different place?
Yeah, they can hide it wherever they want.
How fun.
Tony, let me know if you see a comment that I should address. I know we've been here 40 minutes, so I'm going to try to wrap this up. But clubs. We just, friendly reminder, because we've got a lot of new friends. We have a lot of clubs. We have, how many now?
7 or 8.
7 or 8. Possibly 9, 10 clubs. Because we believe in motivating you guys, and we believe in getting inspired by each other. And so the clubs are, most of them are free clubs just designed to, again, show and tell, extend a challenge, and then just grow together as community. So bag clubs, embroidery clubs, serger clubs, AccuQuilt clubs. We got clubs. Tulip Pink Club, EPP Club. Tony wanted me to make an announcement. The Tulip Pink Club
For April will be by Zoom only.
For April, which they meet the first Saturday of every month, is Zoom only. So apologies, but that's the day we have our Sip and Surge tea party, and we got to get it set up. Speaking of which, on the 5th, actually back up. I need to go in order. My sticky note says
yes.
In order. I did.
Oh.
So clubs, I just wanted to throw that out there. Clubs are great. They're fantastic. Some of them are virtual and in person. But again, I highly recommend if you're just looking for inspiration, look at our clubs. Go to the calendar, look at both locations, and just come get inspired.
And you know, the other thing about clubs is that if you're feeling like, I just don't know what to do, I'm not feeling creative, nothing is coming together, or I just kind of have lost any kind of interest. Clubs are a great place to come and get inspired and rejuvenate your enthusiasm for whatever it is, whatever club you're coming to. They're fun.
They are fun, and we have great turnouts and consistency. They keep coming back, which means they keep bringing new ideas and growing. So, but you don't have, it's not like if you missed one, you can come anytime. They're not.
It's not a consecutive
Thank
thing.
you. That's the word I was looking for. Events. We try to have events quarterly or every so often. And when we say event, it's more of an all day, lunch is provided. We're bringing in specialty educators, an event, like a special event. And so we've got a couple big ones coming up on April the 3rd and 4th in St. Augustine. I should say 3rd or 4th in St. Augustine, because you don't want to sign up for both of them. It's the same event, but we've offered it at 2 different days so more people can come. Is our Quilt Lab presents free motion playtime. There we go.
Let's go with that.
But here's what it is. So the word long arm is in the title if you see it online and things, and that scared people. And I know you've heard this spiel, but I just feel like it's important to keep. It's such a good opportunity. Adam So Fun, right, is going to be incredible. So
Is he here?
he's coming. Yeah, he's the educator for the event.
So if you don't know who Adam So Fun is, look him up on YouTube, and that will encourage you to come because he's so fun.
He's so fun. So I talked to him onto the phone for like 10 minutes, and I was like, "Oh, this is good.
Mhm.
He's our people. This is going to be great."
Mhm.
So, but don't be scared of the word long arm, because we're going to be it's going to be more focused on free motion, some ruler work, and some couching. But you're going to be doing it on Bernina machines, Bernina sit-down machines, and the Bernina new hoop frame. So some people don't know whether they like to move the machine or the fabric. And this is the perfect opportunity for you to play on both and figure out what fits your style better, what you prefer. Machines are provided, lunch is provided, giveaways provided. Adam's going to be there. We're going to be there. It's going to be fun.
It's like the perfect day.
It is. Perfect 2 days.
2 days.
Except spots are very limited because this is in St. Augustine, and we have a little bit of a smaller classroom there. And so we're being very strategic, and we just want to make sure everybody gets hands-on experience. We don't want to cram a bunch of people in there and have it be a lecture demo thing. We want you to sew.
So
That's
is
the
this one
point.
of those things where it's one day or the other? It's not both days.
Exactly. So spots are still open. I'm hoping that they fill up this week because it's soon. I mean, it's next week. What's today? Monday. So next week. So make sure you sign up. And so here's the thing. If you've played with some free motion, you can still go. Absolutely. You're going to get hands-on education. If you've never touched it, but you're like, on my domestic machine, it's hard. I'm nervous. The word long arm doesn't matter. Still sign up. I'm telling you. You cannot get better education than when the manufacturers send their best directly.
It'll be fun.
Truthfully, it's going to be fun.
And if you come on the 3rd, it's my birthday. You can celebrate my birthday with me.
Ooh, fun. We'll have cake.
That's right.
Yeah.
I'm planning on it.
Oh, fantastic. So that's April 3rd or 4th. Make sure you sign up fast. Go to cutupandsew.com. Give us a call if you have questions. Then on the 5th, and this is the reason that the Tula Club is virtual only, is because we have it's Baby Lock Sip and Surge event, which is really fun. So they're going to do a live stream where they're going to give us all sorts of information about Baby Lock sergers and overlockers and cover stitch machines. And I don't know, it's a ton of fun. And I honestly, again, we're hearing from the manufacturer. So that's the best way to get information. But we're putting a little cut up and sew spin on it by having you come in an hour early. We're going to have sergers set up. So if you want to play on them, touch them, feel them, ask questions, you can. But also you got to get fancy, and we're going to have some tea.
It'll be fun.
And we've put Tamara in charge of this, which means it will be a successful tea party done right. Because I have no idea what I'm doing.
And I understand she does a great job of tea parties. So this is a thing of hers. So it
A
should be fun.
big thing of hers.
Mhm.
Yes. Looks like you want to say something.
I
You're
want to
standing
walk
up.
in and do my little thing about my Tula EVP.
Oh, okay,
That's
cool.
questions people
I was
ask
like,
me.
you're moving. I'm going, should I stop? So again, the Sip and Surge is on the 5th. Make sure you register. There is a limited number of spots. And I'll be honest with you, it is real close to being full. It might already be full, actually. So my apologies if I am. But put your name on the wait list. People do drop out. Life happens. And then we'll go to the next person on the list. So we're going to have competition. Contest for best dressed, and it's going to be fun.
Oh,
Sincerely,
that will
it'll
be
be a
fun.
lot of fun, with a focus on Baby Lock sergers and
We'll have them
overlockers.
set up for the play out, too.
What's that?
We'll have them set up so people can play on.
Yeah, absolutely. We want you to play on the sergers, so that's going to be a crazy good weekend.
Mhm.
Come on in.
That's right.
Tony wanted to say something.
Here, let me.
So-
move it. You can.
No, so you're fine.
Judy,
So-
you're right.
we had a lot of people asking questions about Tula and EPP. So no, there will not be EPP for the first week in April. We'll meet again in May. And then for Tula, we're going to do it all by Zoom. And I see Barb and Louise. I'm pointing at y'all. The challenge ends in May. So you still have plenty of time to do the Tula challenge. So there's no excuse not to join us by Zoom. So
Is that the Nebula?
no.
Oh, is this a new one?
It's a spring challenge.
Oh.
That's a so long. We're doing a so long.
Oh, right. Janice finished hers, and it looks amazing.
I did. She did a great job. So I just scared Joanne
Joanne's
off.
like, I'm out.
All right, I'm here now. I know what else. I did what everybody else is saying.
Fantastic. Okay, let's see. Company educators. That's why I'm cruising. Yeah, I mean, if you can get, I like that term better. Company educators. If you have an opportunity to get education from educators that do this for a living, do it. I'm telling you. So anyway, I'm super excited about those events. Every single time, I got to do this now before I forget. Every time that you come into the shop, either shop, if you pay with cash, your name goes on a little ticket and it goes into a drawing for a gift card. If you say the code word, you'll get 2 tickets. So the code word for this week is Serger. Ta-da! Because April is Serger month. We're getting ready. We're gearing up for it. So we've got the we've got the, what's it called? Sit and Surge with Carrie, which is a perfect introduction into the April month. And then we've got the Sip and Surge with Baby Lock and us. So say the word Serger, pay with cash, get 2 tickets, and then put your name into a drawing for a gift card.
This is too much fun.
I'm out. I don't have anything else. I
Must
don't
be
have anything
time to
left.
finish.
Can you mail me my machine?
She was gonna pick it up during Tula Club.
It's ready. Guess I'm coming a different day. Oh, yeah, no. I mean, we could, but no. You don't want to pay shipping. That'd be horrible. And I got to find a box, and it's a whole thing. No, we just want you to come see us. That's funny. By the way, and just because I saw Tamara jump on, Tammy, as she goes by on here, I'll say it because, Barbara, you sent the nicest thing about how, well, I'll just say, Tamara, if you haven't had a chance, she's the one that picked the By Annie. She's the one that's going to be kind of helping us make sure this tea party is done the right way. She's also our fabric whisperer, and she really takes the time to help people out. So I just want to give you a shout out, Tamara, because Barbara gave you a shout out to me, and she's not the only one. So if you haven't had a chance, not only Tamara, just the entire staff, come in though, really get to know them. I'm surrounded by amazing people.
That's right.
Cut Up and Sew is awesome because of the people that are around us.
Yeah. Great
Truthfully.
staff working here and St.
People like
Augustine.
you. Still need to get you a name tag.
Maybe someday.
All right. Am I missing anything, Tony?
Nope, I think we got it.
By the way, in case you see this later, awesome band.
Okay. It's a great logo. I like
It's
it.
fun, right? We went and saw them Saturday. Anyway, all right. So you guys have an amazing day. As always, live to create.
And I just want to say, creating is not always easy. And you may be one of those people that are out there saying, I'm not creative. I can't do that. Well, come to a club, get inspired. You'll be inspired to be creative. But the other thing is if you keep using those creative cells in your brain, they build more brain cells. And by the time you're 95, when you can still think, you can thank quilting for it.
Boom. Quilting saves lives.
Quilting saves brain cells.
Perfect. See you guys soon. Bye.